Why, hello again. So, last night's stream was fun and all, but I figured it would also be fun to do some artwork. So today I'm just going to have a chill Sunday. We're going to do some artwork, and again, we're going to try and raise a little bit of funds for my good friend who is in a. Well, again, she's not in trouble per se, but she needs a little bit of help and support, and I want to try and provide that for her by raising some money. So, today I'm going to be painting some Pokemons. As you can see, I have got a Charizard here that I've started. It's very rough still. It's only got like a base color and a little bit of the black outline, which I'm just about to go over and add in like shading and some more color to it. I will be taking viewer requests. I've got a lot of canvas here. Lots of canvas. Lots and lots of canvas. Also, I've just lost the pen lid. Come back. So I may do... Obviously, I'm going to finish Charizard, but I'm also happy... What are you? Get off of there. I'm happy to take viewer requests if anyone pops in the stream and wants to see their favorite Pokemon painted. But just be aware, if you do make a request, that obviously it might not be finished in the time that I'm allowing for the stream. Obviously, artwork takes a little bit of time, even if it's a small canvas like this. This is like a little bit slightly smaller than an A4 piece of paper. So... But yeah, let's pop some music on. Gonna get some lo-fi beats going, and we will paint. So this is the thing for the channel. I think what I want to do is obviously focus a lot on the art and animation side of things, which is why I'm doing an art stream. What am I doing? That's the one I want. But also do some gaming as well. Probably not a whole lot of gaming, but some gaming. So let's get some music on very low, just so we've got some tunes in the background, and let's get going. I can turn that off now. All right. So let's bring this up. Not that. I don't need to see that. This. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to get going then. Probably won't talk a whole lot if there's nobody in the chat, because obviously drawing slash painting slash concentrating. But if anybody does pop in, then obviously I will talk. Da, da, da. Bon. He is eventually going to be breathing fire, but I wanted to get his, or her, could be a female, the main bulk of it done first before I added in any, like, fire coming out of its mouth. Have to say, having never really drawn slash painted Charizard, it's got a very strange head shape. I know he's very dragony, but yeah, a very, very, very strange body shape. Or head shape, not body shape. Also, again, excuse my gravelly voice. I do have a cold. It won't leave me alone. At this point, I'm beginning to feel like I'm stuck with it. If you're wondering, this is an alcohol marker. I found it works. There's the ones I was using before were like pro markers to kind of go around the outline. Like, as much as the black paint works, you need like a really steady hand. And while I do have a steady-ish hand, I found that going over the paint with an alcohol marker actually like makes the painting pop a little bit more. Right, let's do the teeth. The teeths. And also, it's not as messy as paint. Add a little bit of black line there for where that jaw would come down. Actually, maybe we'll do... So if nobody hops into the chat and makes a request, I will be painting either Lugia or Lucario next. Probably Lugia, let's be honest, because Lugia is cool. I do like Lugia. One of my favorite Pokemon from Gen 2. That's all of that. I'm gonna have to remix. Actually, it's probably gonna need to be a slightly darker orange for shading. But I do need this channel, or need to make myself make this channel, because it's not going to happen on its own, more active. It's just really finding the time to do it. Also, hello to the person that just hopped into chat. I hope you're well today. Welcome, welcome. Please make sure to say hello in the chat. It would be very nice to meet you. I'm outlining a Charizard. Yay me. And they're gone. Cool. Okay. Which bit's the wing? I think that's the back bit, isn't it? That's the wing. So this is the wing. This is the arm. Right, may have to go over again when I do the background, but that's that for now. Let's grab a swig of coffee. Sorry if that was bumping on the microphone, that was unintentional. Right, what colour did I use? I think it was... Actually, may need to go over again because there's quite a lot of white patches where the acrylic didn't quite cover it. So I think it was vermilion and... Yep, so I used vermilion and primary words, Taz, yellow. So we're going to give him another coat just to give that coverage, because, yeah, there are a lot of white patches. You probably can't see them that well, I wouldn't have thought on the camera, but there are quite a lot of white patches that I want to go over. So we'll do that, and then we will add shade and do the eye and all sorts of magical things. Alright. Water. Wait, is that the brush I was using yesterday? It is. Okay. We'll use that then. We'll use that. Actually, to try and get the right colour. That's the thing, like, I shouldn't have let the palette dry, because now I've got to try and colour match properly and get the same colour that I had before. Which doesn't always work, I will be honest. I mean, I think that's ever so slightly... Or not ever so slightly, it is lighter than it was, but Charizard is... like, quite a light orange, isn't he? She. So, yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with this. This works. Let's not drip. Might need to go over the black lines again, but that's okay. So I think if nobody requests anything, I'll probably do Lugia, because I've got a fun plan for that. So Lugia Lugia is next on my list to paint. It's the thing with acrylics, or any paint really, you need to get like a really decent quality. Because the thing I've noticed with acrylics is if you get a bad quality acrylic paint, it gets quite watery. I don't know if anybody potentially watching has ever really used acrylic, but yeah, if you get like a really bad quality, it tends to be quite watery, and you can nearly always see the canvas underneath unless you give it like a couple of layers. I mean, the acrylic I'm using isn't too bad. It's like Graduate. I don't know if you've ever used this type of acrylic. It's not too bad. Some of the colors are better pigmented than others and aren't so watery. Could also be the canvas, I suppose. Like, it's not just the paint. If you get bad quality canvas, then that might also happen. Guess mixing that with bad quality acrylic, it's a bit of a recipe for disaster, but that's okay. So my plan for Lugia is just to paint a canvas black and then do like... Actually, a fun thing to do, I was going to paint like the entire Pokemon, but a fun thing to do would be almost like a silhouette with just the colors and not really like detail. That could be a very fun thing to do. Maybe I'll try that, just have something a little bit different. And I think that would work fairly well for Lugia as well, because it is a legendary Pokemon, so to have something like that would be very fun and cool. And a little bit different, actually. I've never really done anything like that, so... it'd be fun to give that a try. Hands up if you like Charizard. I like Charizard. Charizard, like, when I first played Pokemon, I think it was Pokemon Blue that I played. God, I'm showing my age. But yeah, Pokemon, I've been playing Pokemon since, like, the very beginning. I played, like, literally from Red and Blue on the Game Boy. And initially, on my very first playthrough, I chose Bulbasaur, because Bulbasaur is easy to train, it's easy to raise, it's a powerhouse. And then I got to the Elite Four. Like, I made a very big mistake. I focused most of my attention, even though I had like my team of 6 or whatever, I focused most of my attention on my Venusaur at that point. So my Venusaur was really, really strong and could literally carry me through the entire Elite Four pretty much on its own. But I could never beat Gary. Was it Gary or was it Lance? It might have been Lance. But I could not beat the end Elite Four. So I restarted the game and I chose Charmander. It was a little bit harder because obviously the first 2 gym leaders are Misty and Brock, both of whom have Pokemon that are very good against Charmander and its evolutions. Sorry, excuse me. But I found like raising a Charmander to be very fun and challenging, and from that point on, every single Pokemon that I've played, except one, there was only one other game that I did not choose the Fire starter Pokemon. And that was, I can't remember which gen it was, but it was the generation with Tepig, Oshawott, and Snivy. And I didn't really like Tepig. I'm sorry for any Tepig lovers out there, but I didn't really like him very much. So I chose Oshawott. And Oshawott was a very fun Pokemon too. But yeah, I've always been a fan of fire-type Pokemon. Fire and dark. So Houndoom is like my dream Pokemon, like fire and dark type. But then I also, like, through, like, just experimenting and using different Pokemon, I actually came to like Pokemon that I never really thought I'd like in a team. So, like, I really like having Gengar on a team. I really like having Lapras. Dragonite is another hard one to train, but so worth it. And what was the other one? There was one that I wasn't really sure of, but ended up training it, and it was really, really good, and I loved it. It might have been Beartic, like Cubchoo and Beartic. They were fun, even though Ice-type Pokemon are a bit hard because there's a lot of Pokemon that are really good against them. Also, Lucario and Riolu. Again, there's a lot of, because of their type, there's a lot of Pokemon that are really good against them. But they're so fun to use. And Lucario, again, is one of my favorite Pokemon. Even though it's like steel fighting, I do believe. Like, just the way it looks is cool. I like Lucario. So, Lucario will be a Pokemon that I paint at some point. Alright, let's just go over the eyes here. Might have to redo the belly as well. I'm not so sure how well the paint took on that, but we'll have a look-see once I've finished the orange. What's the difference between a male and female Charizard? Are there any like visual differences? Because that's the thing I can be aware of when painting Pokemon now. I can choose whether to make them male or female just by adding the visual difference. I don't actually know, or can't remember what the visual difference is between a male and female Charizard. But that's okay. So I may try and do an art stream every Sunday. It won't always be a fundraiser art stream. This is just a fundraiser, like I said, to raise money for a friend, and it happens to be a Sunday. So, yeah. But yeah, so when I say art stream, it might be anything. It might be like painting like I am now. It might be animating because I really need to get back into that and finish some of the projects that I've been working on. If you've been watching my channel at all, you know I've been working on the Five Nights at Freddy's reanimation from Pymations. It's progressed from the last video that I uploaded, like the last whip, but I really do need to go in and finish it. I'm well aware I need to go in and finish it. It's just finding the time and sorting out my procrastination, because I procrastinate a lot. And I really shouldn't. So that's something that could happen. So it could be animation, it could be painting, it could be traditional drawing when I work on characters and screenshots from Tanuki Tales. So yeah, like with artwork, there's a whole lot of stuff I could potentially do. But I'm probably just so, like, there's a regular upload. There will be a live stream, unless I'm busy or something comes up or I'm away. There will be a live stream every Sunday for artwork. Because like I said, I want this channel to really, really focus on the artwork and the animation side of things, because that's what I'm best at. Not necessarily the animation, because I'm terrible at animation, but I'm an okay artist, so having an art stream will be fun. And it's kind of fun just to sit and relax and chat, basically, while arting. It is fun. I like to art. And it will also get me doing art more as well. Because I do have... I have a little... Not a shop well, I guess you could call it a shop, but I don't run a shop. Although technically I do. So I don't know if you've ever seen them. I don't know where people are from and if they have the same sort of things that we do in the UK. But we have a variety of shops that are basically like an art collective. So it's housed in one big shop, but all of the merchandise inside is from different people, different artists. And my artwork is currently in a beautiful little shop called Walrus and Oyster. And it's run by the same lady that I'm fundraising for. And also, that's a little bit more yellow. Her name is Emma. She runs it completely alone, and when I say completely alone, I mean completely alone. There are volunteers, and I'm one of them, that go in and run the till and everything to keep the doors open and keep people's work selling. But it's Emma that deals with all of the rent and everything else that entails. Like, we're not privy to that. We can't help her with that. And considering everything else she's been going through, like, it must be so hard to have to worry about, like, the shop and the project and worry about keeping that afloat, while at the same time, like, caring for her daughter, who has quite a few chronic illnesses that affect her. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because obviously that's Emma's personal life. But yeah, she cares for her daughter. She also, Emma herself, I said it in last night's Minecraft stream, last year she had two major surgeries. She lost her eyesight and had to have surgery to help, well, fix the problem. I can't remember what it was exactly that caused her to lose. I think it was like something was pressing on her tear duct, something along those lines, and it caused her to experience temporary blindness, which must have been terrifying for her. And then I think it was about 6 months later, her back, she needed to have spinal surgery. And although she's now had the surgery, she's not allowed to do like any heavy lifting or anything like that. So she's struggling right now. And because she's her daughter's primary carer, I guess it makes it so much worse because she's trying to care for someone when she herself needs care, which it must be so hard for her. And I've seen it in her, like, she doesn't want to admit it, but she's I don't even know how to explain it. She's basically at breaking point where she needs to just take a step back and relax, and she can't because of her responsibilities to her daughter, because of her responsibilities to the shop, or but I just wanted to do something to help her and like give back to her because she is like a lady with a heart that's so big. She's just a wonderful human being. I don't know how else to describe her. She's just a wonderful human being, and she needs some help. So I'm doing what I can to help her. So yeah. But yeah, so I have any art that I create on stream will be going into the shop. Or most art like this will be going into the shop onto my little shelf for sale. Although I'd be quite happy to sell it on stream if anyone wanted it, of course. If you wanted to buy art on stream, then payment would be through PayPal. And I am happy to ship worldwide. And any money that these make will be going into the GoFundMe for Emma. So I'm not going to be taking home any of the profit if any of these sell. Anything that I sell on stream will be going towards Emma. Or I should say, well, they will be going towards Emma, but it will go into the GoFundMe, and then she can, once I release the funds to her, she can do as she will with it. Hello, person that just hopped into the stream. How are you today? Please say hello. I hope you're doing well. I'm painting a Charizard. Yay! My name is Toon, if you haven't been here before. And we're currently doing a fundraiser to raise some monies for a good friend of mine who needs some help. As you can see, I'm currently painting Charizard. I am taking viewer requests, so if you're into Pokemon and you want to see a specific Pokemon painted, please feel free to make a request. Depending on time, I may try and get maybe 2 more done this stream. It completely depends on what those Pokemon are and how complicated they are. Though, can you call a Pokemon complicated? I guess some are more complicated to draw than others, so bye. Okay. Alright, let's try and get that back wing in. I really hate this cold. This cold can go away and die because I hate it. What should I do in the background? I mean, obviously the Pokemon's going to be breathing fire. I don't know what to paint in the background. What would be a good colour for background? Or don't really want to do designs. Alright, okay, I think the belly's okay. Might need to, I was going to say maybe bring it around a little bit, but I don't know how well the yellow would go over the yellow that's already there. Probably not very well, to be honest, because of the black, but I could try. Because I feel like it needs to come more around to where its neck is. Ooh, somebody needs to look at their brakes. Okay, that seems to have, going over it again has given it better coverage so it's not as scratchy. Can artwork be considered scratchy if it hasn't got complete coverage on the white, on the canvas underneath? Could that be a thing? I don't really know. I guess, maybe. Alright, let's do... Still wearing those because there's no need to. And last but not least here, we'll do his arm in the background. Well, actually not his arm, his wing. I'm doing his wing. And then once it's dry, I can do shading. Still debating on umming and ahhing about moving the belly forward a bit, but again, I'm not sure how well the paint would go over the marker. I mean, because it's quite a light yellow, probably not very well, if I'm honest. It would take quite a few layers to cover that. So I might just have to leave it as it is for this particular painting. Probably not going to get prints of it either, because it's just... Prints, while they are fun to get, it's getting like mounts and all sorts of stuff to sell them on. And at the moment I can't really do that. Also, it's fun just to have like a few one-off paintings as well. Like when they're gone sort of thing. So that's what I might make these. I've got a couple of Pokemon prints, but considering it's not completely A4 as well, the sizing might be a bit weird when it comes to having it done in an A4 print. So I'm not quite sure how well that would work. Right. That's done most of that. Now... Oh, probably need to do the... go over the mouth. The white seems to have gone pretty well, like in the teeth and the eye. So I probably won't give that another coat, but definitely the tongue and inside the mouth we'll give another go over. I was going to say I'd do black, but obviously it's got a black outline, so can't really do a black background. Because that would just look weird. Alright, where did I use like primary red? think it was. Where did I mix it? It's primary red. And white, where are you? There you are, right in front of my face. Tongue. Again, very sorry for the throat clearing. Okay. Should be able to get in there. I can't remember what colour it was that I did just inside the mouth. I didn't mix anything, that's a base colour. It's not crimson. Oh, I need to do the inside of the mouth again there. That's the thing we need to do. Right, that's the tongue. Maybe I should add... Okay, that's that. Wrong thing. Right, there we go. So that was the tongue. It might have been... Was it cadmium? No, it can't have been cadmium. Was it? Cadmium's too... Oh, it could have been. Could have been just base cadmium red. Ooh, I think it was actually. Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. That's fine. Means we can try and get like a crimson-y colour for the shading in the mouth. So we'll do all of this, and then once the Pokemon itself is done, then I'll add in the flame. Oops, that went onto the black, that's annoying. Is that, like I said, I'm not going to redo the white, because it doesn't really need redoing. Or the yellow, for that matter. What was I just thinking? Oh yeah, the orange in the mouth. Into side of the mouth we will do. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Right then, shade. Probably add, it wasn't cadmium, it was vermilion I was using for this, so if we add some more red to that to make it darker. That should do the trick. The light in here is absolutely terrible. I really do need to get a desk lamp. Is that showing up or do I need to? I mean it is. May need to make it ever so slightly more darker. Also I may need to move my lamp over here just so I've got some actual light. Okay, let's try that. I mean I can kind of see the shade, but it's not the best. Although that is just the light, I think, where the light is pretty bad. So I guess the light would be coming in from the front of him because that's where the fire is. Maybe I should get the lamp. Don't know if it would reach though, and I'd have to like move my bed to get it. Hello there, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Good to see you. Random person that just walked in. How is your day going? Might try and get a highlight along the top edge of the horn. As you can see, I'm currently painting Charizard, with plans to paint Lugia afterwards, unless of course there is a specific Pokemon that you would like to see me paint. more than happy to take viewer requests. Excuse my cough. Okay, so the rest of the face is pretty much going to be in a highlight because that's where the flame is coming from. Might put a bit of shade on the belly. Okay, never mind. Maybe a very tiny amount there. Okay. Maybe a little bit in there, I don't know. Or just under the eye. Probably not in there because that's where it's going to be lightest, I do believe. So. Might add a tiny bit on the jaw here. Right, let's do the yellow. I think it was primary and white. Yep, we're going to need it darker than that because it's shade. Okay. Ew, that's not much darker at all. How dare you? There we go. darker red without making it like muddy. I love the smell of paint. Something very soothing about it. That wasn't cadmium, what was that? That was primary. I really do apologise about the constant throat clearing. It's not very fun. Well, that was dumb. Hello there, welcome to the stream. How are you today? Hope you are well. Oh, that's not working quite as well as I was hoping it would, but... I mean, there is going to be flames coming out of his mouth, so that's a thing that's going to happen. Right. So I used vermilion for the inside the mouth. I need to maybe mix it with a bit of black just to make it darker and get a more crimson-y colour to it. What was it? Was it vermilion? No, it was cadmium red that I used for inside the mouth, which is that one. How are you today, random person? Please introduce yourself. Also, if you like Pokemon and have a specific Pokemon that you would like to see me paint words, please feel free to say, because I am taking requests. See, that's the thing with adding red or black to red. It always makes it into a purpley sort of colour, which is not really what I want. I need... Because I don't specifically have the colour crimson, I'm trying to make like a dark red that I can shade with in the mouth. But we don't want it to be purple, because it's not the colour I'm going for. Okay. I mean, it doesn't need to be a whole lot, just a little bit. That's okay. That's a decent enough colour. Under there. Then we'll mix up some grey to do some shading on the teeth and in the eyes. Alright, and let's do a little bit in here. Sorry for my arm being in the way, I'm just adding a little bit of shade inside his, or her, I'm not quite sure if it's a male or a female Charizard, but into its mouth. Cool, alright, so we've got that. So this is how it's looking so far. He's getting there. Looks a little bit weird, like laid down like that, but it's... There you go, that's how it's looking. Getting there, slowly. So my plan is, after Charizard is finished, to do a Lugia silhouette on a black canvas, which I thought would be very fun. Right, got black, need a little bit of white to do some shade on teeth. Teeth shading. That sounds really weird. We're doing some teeth shading today. But I want it to be a very, very, very light grey. Not red. Get out of there, red. What are you doing in there? We don't want red in there. Okay. Where to start? Let's probably at the back, because the fire's coming outward from there, so just a little bit of shade on the teeths. Yeah. Okay, cool. Probably not on that front one because it's more in the light. What I might try and do with the flame is make it, or add a little bit of more water to the acrylic so it becomes a little bit more, I don't even know what a good word for it would be, but so it's less opaque, I guess would probably be the word, like more see-through for fire. Do the eye next. And a little bit in there. Okay. Let's actually add detail to the eye now. That would be grand. Give our Charizard a little bit of personality. Where is my... Where we go? Blue? Actually, I'm gonna go with a darker blue. Alright, let's go with... So I did... Okay. So we'll go with... So I'll do a little bit of darker blue around. That's a bit too much. The eye itself... Might need a smaller brush for this. Okay. Whoop, there goes my paint. A little bit of darker blue there. Then we'll add a little bit of lighter blue. Okay, cool. If I add that... don't know if that's going to be an idea to let that dry. And then we'll let that dry before I add any highlights to the eye. Alright, so... Actually give our Charizard nostrils. So we'll wait until that paint's dry to actually add more detail on the black. While it's drying, I may need to... no, actually, it'd probably be a better idea to do the flame first. Could probably do the background on this side, but what colour to do it? Should we do it like a dark blue? Or a cerulean blue? What colour to do background? Or maybe a light blue. A lightish blue. Yes? Yes. Like a light blue would be fun. I always go through so much bloody white. not going to do the whole background just yet, just around the back, because I need to do the flame before I add in the rest of the background out there. And I'm probably not going to go around it in black. Oh, go for there. We don't want bits in the paint. Oh, hark at that wind. Must be the new storm that was blowing in. I mean, I'm from the UK, so we haven't been hit as badly by it. But I didn't expect it to be windy today. I knew I was going to have, like, just a chill day at home doing arty stuff, but... Okay. Really going to have to look into getting some, either a lamp for my desk for work, or changing the light, or my main light, because it is like a warm yellow as opposed to a bright white, which isn't the best for artwork because it makes it very hard to see, especially when it's dark outside. Doesn't really cast a whole lot of good light in here. Actually, I think the blue is good. Since technically I believe Charizard is classed as a flying type as opposed to a dragon type. Should I add something in the background though, is the next question, or just leave it like the light blue? I mean, I could speckle like orange yellowy paint as in for embers. Not quite sure how well that would work, but could always give it a shot. That could be fun. Let's get those edges. I actually started this one last night and did the base colour. So just finishing it off before... Probably won't go out today because it looks like it's raining now. I was gonna like finish this one off and take it to the shop, but I think I'll wait because I'm there on Thursday anyway. So I might wait and take it then. Because that gives me a chance to do the Lugia as well today if no one else pops into stream and wants something else painted. Looking forward to doing that one. I think that is going to be fun to do, just like the silhouette of it on the black. Like kind of minimalist almost. What can I add in the background of this? I think the eye's almost dry as well, so I can add some detail to that. Do the flame and then add the highlights on the face. I mean, I may even on one of the Sundays do realistic animal painting, because that's something I can do. The only reason I don't do that often is because obviously realism takes a lot of time. Like, it's a lot more involved than painting a colourful cartoon character if you're doing realism. But that's definitely something I could do as well. Like, I've been doing a series called Windows, which is basically like a close-up of an animal's eye, because obviously the eyes are the windows to the soul, hence the name Windows. So far I've done 2. I did a tiger and I did a wolf. So, hello there, people hopping into chat. How are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. I was just discussing I could potentially on the next Sunday do realism. Goodbye, people. Thank you for hopping in. That's okay. I'm used to being on my own. Now, do I do an outline around him as well, or should I just go over again with the black marker just to pick up the paint and... Decisions. What to do, what to do. Not paint my fingers, that would be a good thing to not do. I'll probably stop the blue once I get to the snout and do his eye. Or her. Still haven't decided. I don't know if there is actually a physical difference between male and female Charizard. Do the flame after I've added the detail to the eye. Oof, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. It's crazy how quickly, like, free days can disappear. Literally had 3 days off of work from Friday and it's gone. Like, today's my last day off of work before I'm back. Not because I'm on holiday, but just because I had 3 days off. It's crazy how quickly it goes past. When every work day seems like a bloody eternity. Especially when you're doing something you don't particularly enjoy, but hey ho. That's okay. We work so we can do fun stuff like this. Right, how close can I get? So I've drawn the flame there, but it needs to be coming out of the mouth. To look look up a reference for that, because I don't know if it starts yellow and goes to red, or red to yellow. Hello, person that just hopped into the stream. How are you doing today? Hope you are well. I was just discussing how I'm going to try and paint the flame. Right, I think now might be a good time to finish up this corner. And then I'll do the eye and then move on to the flame. Okay. Let's give this guy some personality with some highlights in the eye. With some highlights. Bloody hell, I only bought this tube of white paint the other day. It's gonna be all gone before too much longer. Let me just check something. Okay. Cool. Right. Highlights. Ooh, there's sort of... Okay, be careful we don't get random colours on... Another little teeny one. There. Might make that one slightly smaller. But I'm gonna have to wait for it to dry before I do that now. And damn, I got some paint on the horn. Let's fade that one out a little bit. There we go. I should be able to do that. Let's add that, because we've randomly got blue paint on the horn, which we don't want. Charizard does not have blue spots. There. We do not want a blue spotted Charizard. Okay, right. Here we go. Might just add, once that's dry, add a little dot there rather than a line. I think that would probably be better. Okay, flame. Let's look this up because it's going to be coming from the gullet. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me see here. Excuse me. Nope, that's not how you spell Charizard. Right. So it's like a thin streak, like with yellow on the top and red on the bottom. Okay, that's interesting. So if I just do like a yellow shape to start with. Coming out of to mouth. Gonna have to make it quite light though, I think. More white. orangey red underneath. Okay. Don't know what that was. Okay, what's going to be the best way to do this? Probably from here. Oh dear, someone's not very happy out there, are they? So we'll have the yellow there. And I might fade it into the mouth a bit with some water. Because I don't want this to be, like, completely not see-through. So I'm gonna do it kind of like almost a bit like watercolor, I think would be a better way to do it. Just and try and mix in like different shades of yellow in it as well, I think would be fun. That's where the red is coming in, so let's get some more of the darker yellow along the bottom, where it's transitioning into the red colour. Water. It's looking pretty good. So the red's going to be underneath that. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. I like that. Mix a load of different yellow hues in with it to make it look like fire. Said I'm probably not going to outline the fire because I think that would look odd. I'll get the blue as close to it as I can and then go over the yellow so the yellow's over the blue, if that makes any sort of sense. It makes sense in my head. And then I can do like little sparks in the blue as well coming off of it. The fire is almost like an orangey red as opposed to like a full-on red, so... Hello there! Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I'm currently painting the fire coming out of a Charizard's mouth. Good to see. Actually, the colour I've got there could work well if I added just like the white to it. I guess it would be, I don't know, more reddish at the base. I don't know. Need it to be lighter than the Charizard itself though. But it's kind of, so if we go in there. So it needs to blend in with the, although could be a little bit redder. So I might just use the vermilion and then mix in like reds to it, because that looks quite orange. It's almost the same colour as the Charizard itself, which we don't want. So we might have to wait until that little bit dries. How are you doing today, good person? I don't know whether you're a he or a she, but welcome. Or a they, you could be a they. Please feel free to say hello in the chat. I would be very happy to meet you. Right, so let's... So some of the orange actually goes up into the yellow, so we'll do that. 'Cause it's flame! We can add darker. So that's that there. So we have it coming up there. Yep, that looks cool. I think I'm happy with that. So I might actually add some... Vermilion's quite an orangey red, so I might add some actual red. Do I have actual red? That's vermilion. Where's my cadmium? Where are you? Why have I got 3 vermilions? Who has 3... there it is. 3 things of vermilion paint. So if you're wondering how it's looking, here we are. Sorry, the camera's not great. It's nearly done. I'm just adding the fire coming out of his mouth, and then I'll finish the background. And add some highlights. So I put a drop of red there to do coming from the actual base of its mouth. Did. Okay. I think that's dry enough for me to lean on. That's better, so it's a little bit more. That coming from its mouth. Might actually add some in at the base of these as well. Then add the more lighter stuff on top. The more lighter stuff. Yes, Taz, that completely makes sense. The more lighter stuff. Okay. We'll do some lighter orange. Doing flame is interesting. Might actually add some yellowy orange. That would be fun. So, do you, random person, do you like Pokemon? Is it something you enjoy? Because I am planning to do another painting once I finish Charizard here, and I'm more than happy to take requests. So if there's a specific Pokemon that you would like to see painted, please do say so. I'd be more than happy to take it on. Let's see, let's add some of this. Add some of this to the flame. Do that coming to there, and then I can add a highlight on that one. It's a bit of lighter orange coming into that. Good thing with acrylic, it's nice to... The colours are easy to mix. So I might do the bottom of the flame darker once the rest is done. And add the end of it starting to get more yellow as it blends into the top of the yellowy flame. Or the flame on top, I should say. So add some underneath there. And do it darker as it goes back towards the mouth. Fire from a fire Pokemons. Let's add in some of the yellowy orange there. As it goes upward. Alright, that's looking good. Add that there, and then I'll do a little bit darker underneath. And then a little bit of highlight on the top. Probably not highlight on the red part, maybe just leave it on the yellow, but have the red be slightly lighter on top as it blends into the yellow. That probably makes more sense. And then have it slightly darker underneath. Fire! So we'll use cadmium underneath for the darkest part of the flame, and inside is mousse. Maybe have some just mixed in. Okay, that's looking pretty decent, I'd say. And then we'll do the slightly, not quite red, but the darker orange underneath the flamey bits, like here. Okay, might have to go in and re-add a little bit on the tongue there, because it looks a little bit odd. Or is that oud? Does it look oud or does it look odd? Good questions. That's better. Now if I add just that little bit there, where it's coming from the gullet, and then I can repaint the tongue. If I add a little bit of yellow, or the yellow I should say, on top of that. Maybe blend the two as it comes forward. There we go, so it's got a bit of a highlight to it. Let's add, what was I going to do? A very, very small amount of the darkest underneath the top. Flames coming back. Okay, so that's how the flame's looking. Hopefully it looks pretty decent. At least I hope it looks decent. I've never really painted flame before. And I've just smeared yellow in his mouth. Good job, Taz. No, wait, no, I didn't smear that. That was already there, but I need to move it because it's not supposed to be there. I think I used just cadmium red for that. I am going to go over with the marker again. Excuse my hand on his face. Just want to get rid of that. Alright. Now I've got to wait until that... how dry is it? Because I don't really want to be smearing orange. So what I'll do is I'm going to paint underneath this bit here, the background. We'll get that done. And then once the flame has finished drying, then I can go in and finish the background up here and around it, and then re-go over the flame so it's actually on top of the background. And then go over the whole thing with the marker again, just to pick it out. But I don't know whether to add like sparky embers in the background or just leave it the blue. I feel like adding sparky embers would be cool, like flicking, you know, like on a black background you might like flick paint, white paint to make stars. I was thinking of maybe doing that but with like orangey yellow to make like embers. Thoughts? Feel free to say hello, I don't bite. Usually. And then the final question, I guess, would be for this piece is how much do I sell it for? It's bigger than my Windows canvases, but a lot smaller than my other Pokemon canvases that I've done. I don't know. Probably, I'd say probably somewhere in the range of 25 to 30. Like I said, it's not quite A5, but it's actually it's bigger than A5, but it's not quite A4. It's somewhere in between the two. So get out of here, lump. We don't want a lump on the canvas. But I wonder if I was to go to 30, is 30 too much? Because I sell my small canvases. So small canvas, when I say small canvas, I mean like a little square canvas like this for 25, depending what's painted on it. I have been doing windows on it. Not actual windows, but I've been... a series called Windows, but these are... they're 10 by 8 inch. So I guess just ever so slightly bigger than like A5. I don't know, I guess it depends. I don't know, like this size I would probably say maybe 30 for the detail in the canvas. I don't know, I'm terrible when it comes to pricing my own work. Like I don't want to overcharge people, but at the same time I don't want to undercharge for my work, if that makes sense. Is that the old artist conundrum? Like you don't actually know what your work is worth. It's always a big thing with me. Especially realism. I mean, I can't really do like realistic people, but I do paint realistic animals. And on those little square canvases, like I said, I charge £25 for those. But I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if that's too much or too little. I'm not very good when it comes to this sort of thing. Right, let's try and get in there without actually painting the Charizard itself blue. Right, now to paint the flame, it's, well, not the same. We don't want to paint over the flame. We just spent time painting the flame. We don't want to paint over it, but painting around it and then painting the flame over the blue. Because I don't want to outline the flame in black, because that would look weird. Around the chin. I said it before, but Charizard has a really weird head shape. paint around it, and then once the blue is dry, I'll paint over it again with orange and yellow, just so the flame is on top of it as opposed to underneath it. Maybe I should have just painted the blue before I did the flame, but... So I guess my next one will be Lugia. Also, those spots are a different colour. I might have to try and find the same colour that I did the main body there. Also got to add highlights too. Gotta add highlights. Hello, random person that just dropped into stream. Are you a new person or are you the same person coming back? Please make sure to say hello in the chat. I would greatly appreciate you saying hello. I like to meet new people, new artists, new faces. Just going around the flames that I have painted. And my plan is, once the blue has dried, to re-go over the flames so the flames are sitting on top of the blue paint as opposed to the blue paint sitting on top of the yellow paint and the red paint down below. But just wanted to finish a tear background, which is nearly done. Or maybe I'll paint Pokeballs. That would be fun. Although, do I paint Pokeballs? Do I not paint Pokeballs? What do I do on the background? Do I do the embers? Should I do embers? I don't know. I don't know what to do with the background. Like, just the blue. Sorry, I didn't mean to smack the mic there and you're gone. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. Well, I guess I'll wait for that to dry and then re-go over the yellow and the bottom of the orange. Also, I missed some bits there, so we'll go back in with that. Suppose while I'm waiting for the rest of this to dry, I can do the highlights. And go back in and do that as well. Might just do like a lighter blue around the Pokemon itself as opposed to the embers. I think that might make it too busy. Let me go back in and do the tongue here. Can re-add that. All right. Let's do highlights and then re-add black lining. I just, what was I going to do? A little bit in the chin there. let's add some highlights. Need a smaller brush. Cold coffee. Right. Hello, random person hopping into the chat. How are you today? Good to see you. I hope you are well. Welcome to the stream. Just starting to add finishing touches, and you're gone. Cool. Let's do one along the ridge of the eye. Can't really do it on the teeth because they're already white, but I think that's fine. Yeah. Wouldn't really be any highlights on the back here. Maybe a little one on the belly. Like there. Okay. I don't think that's going to be dry enough to finish off the flame just yet. Right. Marker then. I mean, this marker, I think it's an alcohol marker, but it kind of feels like a paint marker. I don't think it is, but it feels that way. I mean, maybe it is. Kind of gives off the feel of a paint marker. I don't think it is, though. I think it is just an alcohol marker. Whatever it is, though, it's good. So I think I'll do what I did for my Vaporeon. I'm not going to add like the embers in the background. I'm just going to paint the name of the Pokemon, a little Pokeball, and the number. And do like a highlight. Not a highlight. What am I thinking? Not a highlight. Well, I guess it would technically be considered a highlight, but a lighter blue around Charizard itself. Did not mean to do that. Now I've got blue on the marker. Obviously that wasn't quite dry. Whoops, so we're nearly done with Charizard. not going to go into the black on the top of the tongue there, because the flame is actually coming out over the top of it. Hence why I'm not going to go over it in the background there. It really does feel like a paint marker, but I don't think it is. I'm gonna have to ask Emma where she got it from, because it really does create a nice contrast. Like, it really picks it out, which is very, very cool. I tried using a pro marker for this before, and while it worked to start with, I think the roughness of the canvas kind of killed the pen. Okay, we're back to the beginning. So I've done all of that. That I'm going to leave in the dark because it's the flame. Well, I say in the dark, it's not technically in the dark, but... Right, you I can turn off because I've done the flame. That blue should be done enough now that I can... Well, I say done enough. It should be dry enough that I can go over with the yellow just to... Go. Right, and then we can add the final touch with the writing and whatnot. So, which brush was I using? I think it was this one. Go back in with this. Get off there, we don't need bristle in there. Get out, get out, get out! Dang. There's a bristle. There we go, got it. Alright. I think I'll add like a little bit of white highlight to the top of the yellow stuff. That looks good. And now let's just add a little bit underneath in the red. Because we want you on top of the blue. There we go. And I think I might just add a little bit more watery red under there, just so it goes over the tongue a little bit. And finally, just to finish off on the flame, we want some white. Okay. So that is Charizard himself is finished. I'm just going to go around with some white. Well, actually not white, like a lighter blue, just around it, the Pokemon itself. Just as a border. And then we'll finish up with naming it and writing the Pokedex number, which is number 9? Is it Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur? No, is it 6? Could be 6. I haven't looked at the Kanto Pokedex in yonks, so I don't know whether Squirtle came before or after. That's a lot of white. Still don't know what I should sell it for though. I want to say 30. I'm not sure if that's a fair price though. Ooh, that's a lot of paint. Don't need quite that much paint. Just try not and go onto the black, yeah, the line too much. Where Dance wants to do that. And once this is done, once it's all named and finished, I am going to go and get a fresh cup of coffee, and then we will make a start on Lugia. And also, hello to the person that just hopped into the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome. I'm just adding the finishing touches to Charizard here. Hope your day is going well. Please say hello in chat, that would be fantastic. So my plan is to finish this off, like I said, go and get a fresh cup of coffee, and then my next painting on the stream, or the final painting on the stream I should say, is going to be like a silhouette of Lugia. Unless of course there's a Pokemon you would like to see painted, I'm happy to take requests. Yeah, I think adding like the lighter border around it looks better than my original plan. So that's good. Go away, McAfee. I don't care. Right. Wait, did I just get a load of... No, I didn't. Okay, that's fine. I need to look up what number... Ooh, why are you bouncing? Don't bounce. What number... Or what Pokedex entry number Charizard is. So I'm not going to go around the flame with this, because the flame is fine on its own. Not go so far as to there, though. And then continue on at the bottom, yaw, around the tongue. the next one I will be doing is going to be Lugia silhouetted on a black canvas. So it's kind of be like a minimalist canvas, I think, with Lugia. Just to try something a little bit different. And also, most important thing, need to sign this once it's done. There we go. I think that's looking pretty decent, wouldn't you say? I think I've done a fairly decent job with it. Although my webcam is skewed, so there you go. That is... Right, what number entry is Charizard in the Pokédex? Also going to need some more paper to clean off brush. What entry are you, Charizard? What number in the Pokédex are you? Let me see here. If I could actually spell, that would be great. What number is... Charizard? Number 6, I was right. So it comes after Bulbasaur. So it's Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard. So let's do a little Pokeball. Need some white paint. White paint and red paint and black paint for a Pokeball. There's my white paint. Let's do it at the top here. So we'll do the ball itself white to begin with, because it's easier to layer dark color on top of that. So we'll wait for that to dry, and while that's drying, we'll do it. Number 6. I find writing with paint a little bit hard. Chariot. Charizard. Okay. Boop. Now that should have already dried because I didn't put too much on there, so we can do the top of the Pokeball and then add the black detailing, and I'm alone again. Okay. We'll wait for that to dry and then add like the button. While that's drying and while I'm waiting to add the button, I am going to sign it. Ooh, is that wet paint? I think that's wet paint. That is indeed wet paint. Ooh, that came out a bit weird. Why have you gone like that? Maybe I should have signed it in pen. think I'll do that in future. We'll sign it in pen. Alright, that should be dry enough that I can add the line and just like the little button, I think. There we go. Right, that I'm going to have to replace because it's too wet now to really use. There. And with that, Charizard is finished. All done. Finito. Right, and with Charizard now being finished, I am going to not pause the stream, but I'm going to be right back because I am going to go and get some coffee, refresh my paper for cleaning my brush, and then we are going to start our final canvas for the stream. Blank canvas, we're going to paint all of this black, and then I'm going to do a silhouette of Lugia on here. So we'll do that. I'll leave Charizard there while I'm BRB. I need to add some text on here. Media. No, not media. We want text. Caps it. B. Right. Back. There we go. Boop. Where are you? Oh, you're teeny tiny up there, aren't you? Why are you teeny tiny up there? What's the point of you being up there? Wait, where is even the text? What are you doing? Well, that's weird. Why did you do that? We don't want you to do that. What are you doing that for? Add source. Text. Yes. Text is fine. Oh, I see what happened. B. Right. Back. Okay, there it is. Put TF2 build. Nice big writing so people can... Ooh, that's too big. Too big. There we go. Done. have returned. I have fresh coffee, so Charizard is finished. Yep. So we've done that. He's done. Pretty happy with how he turned out. Probably going to look at selling him probably about 30. Maybe 25. Actually, I think 25 would probably be the better price range instead of 30. So he'll be going for 30. Now, my next Pokemon that I'm going to paint, obviously, since no one has made a request, it's going to be Lugia. So my idea is to paint this black, and then we'll do like the silhouette of Lugia on here in like a minimalist style. So to do that, I am gonna need a white marker. I don't know how well, I've got like a white gel marker. I don't know how well it's gonna sit on the canvas, if at all, but we can give it a try, and if that doesn't work, then I will have to try and use paint to pick out the silhouette of it. But first, black paint. Now I don't actually have, that's a dry brush, so I don't really need that. I mean, I don't really have a decent big brush. I think this is probably my biggest brush, and it's not that big. So I will use that momentarily. Need to bring up an image of Lugia. Right. Okay, cool. So, Lugia. Let's have a look, see. Ouch, that hurt. Lugia. Alright. So, that image will do. That's what I'm going to be working with. Alright, first then, let's do the black. This is going to be interesting. Actually, this is not a good brush. I really need to get, like, some bigger brushes, because this one's not great. It's going to take a while to spread this. Might see if one of my slightly smaller brushes is going to work better with coverage on that, because that one is just too scratchy, really. Maybe I shouldn't put that much black paint on there. Also, I forgot to get more tissue, so that was good. Well done, Taz. Yeah, that's actually working a lot better. So, yeah. So I think next week, next Sunday, providing I'm not working, I might do an animation stream, just because I was intending to do some animation today, but after doing this, I think I'm just going to kick back and relax and play some Minecraft or something like that. Can't actually varnish these because my varnish is at Walrus and Oyster, so I'm going to have to varnish them the next time I'm there. Probably the day I put them up for sale. Maybe I should consider, like, getting some sponges as well if I'm doing, like, big coverage work like this. See, the brushes I've got, well, they're decent enough brushes, but they are quite old. Probably should replace them at some point. Need to get myself a brush caddy as well. But it's definitely covering it a lot quicker than the stiff bristle brush that I was going to use. That's good. Lugia is probably one of my favorite legendary Pokemon. I mean, depending on how this one turns out, I may do more minimalist Pokemon stuff. This could be like a trial run to see how the style works, I guess. Will be interesting to see. So I think I'm going to try and do it like just the colors rather than line work and detail. I remember watching Pokemon 2000 in the bloody cinema, when Pokemon's still released in the cinema. That was crazy. Actually, I'm pretty sure Pokemon 2000 was the last Pokemon film to release, like, cinematically, as opposed to, like, straight to streaming services or DVDs and things like that. Alright, I'm really hoping that gel pen is going to work on this. Definitely need to get some bigger brushes though for coverage work like this. Or sponges maybe. Once the black is done, I'm going to nip and get some tissue for brush cleaning. Just try and move up some of this paint. Oops. Just smoothing out the paint a bit. Oh, black paint on me now. I may add some water on the bottom, like splashing up as well. Not sure yet. Guess the only problem with doing it the way I've done it, with like a smaller brush and quite a lot of paint, is that it has quite a streaky look. But yes, definitely we'll look at getting some bigger brushes when I do big coverage work like this, I think. Oh, also I need to change the thing that I'm painting, because I'm not painting Charizard anymore. Painting Lugia. Hello there! Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Please make sure to say hello in the chat. My name is Toon, and I'm currently painting a black background, which will eventually be Lugia. Or at least that's my hoping. Planning to do a minimalistic style Lugia. But I hope you're well, and thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate it. So my plan is to finish the black background, let it dry while I go and get some tissue to like dry and clean my brushes in between colours. And then hopefully once it's dry, or once the black is dry, do Lugia and go from there. So I've already painted Charizard. The Charizard is done. So just gonna finish the black, and then I'll go and get some tissues. Hope your day is going well. Not sure if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Also going to change the name of the Pokemon that I'm painting, since I am no longer painting Charizard. Nearly there. I'm going to have to switch the canvas around in a minute though, so I can reach that corner without painting myself. There we go. Let's paint this last corner up here. Gotta say, these canvas boards that I'm using, they're not the greatest quality, but they're okay. For what I'm doing. I just hope that the gel pen takes to it, because I'm going to attempt to draw out the Lugia design with white gel pen, as opposed to painting the design. Although if the white gel pen doesn't work, then I am going to have to paint the outline design. Which isn't bad, I can do it, but I find drawing with a pen, as opposed to drawing with paint, is more precise. So do you have a favorite Pokemon? Do you even like Pokemon? Are you just hopping into the stream because you were curious? Do you just like art? Or all of the above, as the case may be? Okay, just this last little bit here. Ooh, might need to add a tiny bit more black. I don't know if I can bring it all down from there. There is still quite a lot of black on the canvas though that's wet, so there is that. I may be able to finish it. Can I bring any more down to finish this little bit of coverage? Probably not is the answer to that. I don't think there's quite enough left that's wet enough to do that. I mean, it gets rid of some of the bulgy streaking, I suppose, so there is that. But yeah, probably going to need just a little bit more just to finish off that tiny little corner, which is typical, but that's fine. We have plenty of black paint. Alright. It's tiny, well, blob in the corner there, just to finish off. Shame I haven't got a bigger brush to smooth it out. Alright. Let's move that onto my palette. I hope you can actually hear me, by the way. I know I'm not the most interesting person in the world to listen to, but it would be nice to know that things are working and people can hear what I'm saying. the excess paint. Right, so I am going to let this dry, and while it's drying, it shouldn't take too long because acrylic doesn't take overly long to dry, but I don't really want to attempt to draw on it with a gel pen and it's wet because that ain't going to work. But I'm going to leave that to dry for a tick. I'm going to go and get some paper, not paper, some tissue paper to like clean the brush. If you're wondering, there's the Charizard that we painted earlier in the stream. He's all finished. He'll be going up for sale. And I will be right back while I go and get some tissue. Bear with me. Alright, I am back with some fresh tissue to clean brushes with. Alright, that's still kind of wet, so can't really do anything with that currently. Let's put that there. Alright. Yeah, that's going to take a little while longer to dry. Ooh, it should work. Okay, so I'm going to try and draw on the canvas with this gel pen. I've got a picture of Lugia to use as a reference, but I've got to wait for this to dry. So, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to have some coffee. And type in here. Alright. So, for Lugia, I'm going to need... It's a mix of different greys and whites, really. So, I'm going to need white and black mainly, but also... I mean, Cerulean's a little bit too light, so probably ultramarine... No, ultramarine's going to be too... Although, it could work. Although, actually, no, primary blue is probably going to be my best bet when it comes to the colour that Lugia has. So these are probably the three main colours I'm going to need. I'm not going to outline it. Like I said, I'm going for a minimalist look. So I've got black, white, and primary blue. And obviously I can make greys from that, so that's fine. For shade, I'm not planning on adding detail. It's literally just going to be the outline and shading on the black. So, still quite tacky and wet. That's the problem. Okay. Probably should change my water as well. Right, won't need the outliner because it's black. So that's not gonna work on it anyway. So we won't need that. Need like a hairdryer to dry the paint. I mean, I suppose I could like start, maybe try and paint it as opposed to using the gel pen, since the paint is wet and the best way to go about it would be to use paint. So I guess we'll give it a go. I've got a very thin brush. Let's find a bit of the palette that I haven't used. Alright, let's give this a go. See, this is the problem. If you're drawing with paint, if you make a mistake, it's a little bit harder to rectify that mistake because you can't just erase it. But here we go. don't know if it's going to be like, should I try and do an entire one of Lugia? I don't know if it will fit, but we'll try. Drawing with paint. Interestings. Let's bring that down a little bit. Actually, Lugia's, the end of its nose isn't quite that hooked. Like I said, I'm not going to add any detailing. It's literally just going to be colour. Actually, that goes up quite far back, doesn't it? The Oop, getting paint on my fingers. Might have to pull that up a bit higher. Alright. Well, this is interesting. Getting into its wing there. Wing slash hand. The hand wing. The hand wing of Lugia. It's gonna be interesting, like, doing shade if I'm not doing outline on this, because I've literally got to use the shade to pick out the detail, as it were. Not that I'm planning to add, like, actual detail to it. So, the wing that goes in, probably about there. And then we have the back to about there, which is when the leg, it's kind of there. Big old Lugia foot. The tail is just below that. So it goes. So I suppose at this point I should probably do his belly, which is slightly just off center from the neck, so about there, which comes down to about there. And then we've got the wing on the other side and the leg on the other side. So we'll do the leg, so that kind of just comes from there. Feet so hard. See, that comes over to there. May have made him slightly fat. So we take it in a little bit, then I can go out with the black on that bit. Bring that leg to there. And then the other wing starts around there, I guess. So Lugia's wings are literally like almost like hands. Because you've got like the thumb feather, as it were. Then you've got the finger feathers. That's a really weird thing to say, finger feathers. Lugia has finger feathers. Comes down just below there. Also, I may need to do his belly up a little bit. I mean, his belly is going to be blue, so... Okay, let's see here. So we've got his tail. Then spikes on his tail around there. And also have to add his back dorsal plates, fins, whatever they are. Whatever those may be. And his tail goes up to in there. Alright, so we've got our pretty much basic sketch of Lugia now. In paint. Actually, I'm kind of glad that I did it in paint as opposed to the gel pen, because one, I didn't really want to ruin the gel pen if it didn't work. And two, I think this gives it a nicer feel. Alright, so we have our paint sketch of Lugia. It's going to be interesting to see how it turns out if I'm not adding any line work, but alright. Well then, let's do the white. Not sure how well this is going to work. May have to do it bit by bit and add the shading as I go. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Unless I outline it in grey, but I don't really want to do outline. I should probably change that, shouldn't I? Not that it matters at all. Oops, no, can't reach that. It's there. Bugger off, caps lock. Lugia. There we go. Save. Okay. Guess the paint wasn't entirely dry, but that's okay. Guess it's giving me a nice springboard to work off of. Miss anything on that one, did I? No. Okay. I guess once the white's done, I'll start with the darker grey and work upward onto the lighter. Actually, very interested to see how this turns out. 3 hours ago, huh? Oh, at the very tip it does, yeah. Okay. Getting there. It's building up slowly. Guess while the first coat of white is drying, I'll do the blue bits. Okay. Slowly taking shape. Let's do the blue, do the blue. Right, which blue, which blue, which blue? It's the primary. Although, actually, I may not have to mix that with white. It's a pretty decent blue as it is for Lugia, so... Or the back dorsal plates of Lugia anyway, the main bits are. Let's do... I have to redo those, but its dorsal plates, its eyes, and the tail spikes are all this nice dark blue. And its belly is slightly lighter. Go over these again once it's dry. The light's starting to get pretty bad in here, so I guess I'll finish the Lugia and end the stream. Alright, let's add some white to this to do belly. Okay. Not quite the right colour, I don't think. Maybe cerulean would work better. mm. Yeah. Hmm. It's not really the right colour for Lugia's belly. It's more like a navy-ish blue. Don't know if ultramarine would do the trick. Probably not. That's like a really, really dark blue. Okay. I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry regardless, so... But... Right, gonna have to wait for that to dry before I can try again with the colour. Okay. Let's start with the shade then, I guess. Bum! We don't want blue paint in there. Okay. Right, I guess we'll start off with the darker. Gonna need some black. Good job there's some there. Like the darker grey. leg, I should say. Let's do this bit first then. Well, that's weird. Got to do something about that foot though, it looks really weird. Oh, I'm holding that. Why am I holding it? I don't know. Thinking I might have to use white as the line. Leg I really don't like, I need to sort that out. Well, hello there, person that has just joined. How are you doing today? I hope you're very well. It's all the same colour underneath the drawer and stuff. I'll have to come back in to do the white highlights. It's all the same colour up to the neck there. Ooh, might have to redo the blue as well. That's annoying. How are you doing today? Now the question is, do I really need to go in and add white? Might be an idea. Just to pick out some detail. Alright, so let's go in and add... we'll actually do the white highlight first. Not even the highlight, just the whiter bits. The whiter bits of Lugia. Ooh, that's not good. Right, so that goes all the way down its back. A little bit there, and then round onto the wing itself. And then... Okay, so the back part of the wing is shadowed, whereas the front part is lighter. Okay, interesting. Feel free to say hello in the chat. 3 goes to 4 is there, and then the rest of it is... in shadow, but I really think instead of using black to pick out the lines, I'm gonna need to pick it out in white, which is an interesting concept. Although I quite like it without lines. So it goes all the way on to there. Painting without lines is an interesting concept. Right, okay, so then that would be like the lighter shades of grey on the back. And then it hasn't got any light there, but it is lighter on the leg here. Not all of it though, just a little patch on the knee. Not sure how this is turning out. Could be turning out well, could be turning out not well. Right, I think I may have to add... Do I add outline? mean, since it's on black, the white outline could work pretty well. Maybe? Question mark? Ooh, that's too much. That goes up to... there. I haven't added any detail to the tail yet, but... Right, I need to fix this foot because the foot does not look good. Go there, up, around because they're square. That comes to about there. Trying to fix Lugia's feet. The last one goes there. That looks a bit better.